Well, we received some very interesting video from one of our viewers, Rick Whistler, who took some video of two waterspouts seen here off of Longboat Key. So thank you, Rick, for emailing this in. Glad we were able to get it on air. And Steve, you could tell us a little bit more about this.
This was just about 5 minutes before 5 this afternoon. It was visible from West Bradenton, from Anna Maria Island, Holmes Beach, down to Longboat Key, part of a very strong line of storms, which we all experienced. And we also had a shelf cloud came over us. But look at the incredible picture there of the twin funnel clouds that came over the area. Fortunately, they did not do any damage. They were offshore, and things are calming down. That the line of storms has now moved out in the Gulf of Mexico, leaving behind cooler air. 79 degrees with a dew point of 78, with a south wind at 13 miles an hour. Before the storms got here, it got up to 91. Last night's low 76, pretty close to normal on both parts, on both counts. Now, there is a broad area of low pressure over Florida responsible for that and a lot of other rain we've had. Circulation is very faint, but you can kind of see it. And there's that line of storms that has now moved out in the open Gulf of Mexico. More could pop up from time to time, but I think that's going to be the worst of it through the overnight hours. Now I'll look at Hurricane Harvey, and the National Hurricane Center is calling this potentially deadly and devastating flooding in areas near where it makes landfall around Corpus Christi tomorrow night or on Saturday morning. And you can see from the new GOES-16 satellite that takes pictures every 1 minute the incredible detail. And in the last hour, hour and a half, we've had an eye form, and look at the convection around that eye. This is encountering warmer water, very little wind shear, so it's going to strengthen dramatically overnight and through tomorrow, and could be a Category 3 storm by the time it hits. But right now, winds are 85 miles an hour as it moves northwesterly at 10 miles an hour. Category 1. By tomorrow morning at 2 a.m., it could be a Category 2 storm with 110 mile an hour winds. Friday afternoon, Category 3 with 125, taking dead aim on Corpus Christi. Storm surge tides 5, 6, 7 feet high just to the right of where it makes landfall. And one prediction was even like 12 foot as a worst case scenario. So people are definitely evacuating the Outer Banks. There is a storm surge warning along all of the Texas coast, or most of the Texas coast. As we move into the weekend, the forecast is more uncertain. The storm will weaken as it moves inland down to about 100 mile an hour winds on Saturday afternoon. Then it could wash out, just dumping more heavy rain, or it could drift back to the coast and move northeastward. The European model, which I kind of like most times, is predicting that. And this is the scenario as far as rainfall that it's predicting. As we move into Saturday afternoon and Sunday, 20 inches of rain around Victoria, 14 to 15 inches around Corpus Christi. Then if it comes back to the coast and moves northeastward, that's when the rain moves into Louisiana. We have our own rainfall to deal with here in the Suncoast as we move into the weekend. This is a rough estimate, anywhere 3-4 inches of rain in many locations. As we move into Saturday and Saturday afternoon, some spots could see multi-inch rainfall. It depends on where these storms hit. This is not exactly what it's going to look like, but you get an idea. It's going to be wet. And our futurecast shows the swirling low over us, and it eventually winds up off the northeast coast by the end of the weekend, where it could become a tropical storm, not affecting any land areas at the moment, moving into the Atlantic, but it's going to be wet off and on. Out in the open water, look for seas to be increasing to a moderate chop, and the beach 89, the water temperature. And here's my 7-day outlook showing it's going to be wet for at least 2 days, but there is hope. 70% chance of storms on Friday, 60% Saturday, then it tapers off to only slight chance Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of next week. And that's your weather.